60 ans après que la mine Giant a commencé à rejeter du trioxyde d'arsenic, la région de Yellowknife en porte encore les traces. L'Institut de recherche Aurora et ses partenaires examinent aujourd'hui comment cette contamination se déplace avec les eaux de fonte printanières et comment les collectivités peuvent aider à comprendre le rétablissement.
I'm Heather Jameson. I'm a professor of environmental geochemistry at Queen's University, and I'm standing just a few kilometers north of Yellowknife in an area that's been impacted by former gold mining and processing. About 12 years ago, Mike Palmer, who's from Yellowknife, called me up and asked if we could collaborate, and he had some great ideas, and we've been working together ever since.
We record the temperature in the ground and the moisture in the ground to get a sense of like how much of the ground is thawing and when, and how much moisture is there. So we have these loggers installed, and we can download them via Bluetooth, and then I can save it.
We're standing on some rocks just a little bit north of Yellowknife. We're right beside the Ingham Trail, the highway, and just over there is the former Giant Mine, gold mine that operated for 50 years, closed in 1999, and we're looking at the impact of the arsenic that came out of the roaster onto this landscape here.
So this is probably an old notification. I'm not sure what year it's from, but it says, "Notice, water contains arsenic unfit for drinking or cooking by order of the Public Health Office." So it gives an indication that people did come out here and actually use the area around Giant. And there was some concern in the early days about people getting sick from drinking that water.
Back in the 1950s, when the gas came from the stacks over in this direction and the particles settled, they were washed down by rain and snow melt and collected in these little soil pockets.
Le détournement de la route Ingraham Trail en 2012 a entraîné l'ouverture de terres intactes. La zone était autrefois largement utilisée par les populations autochtones locales pour la chasse, le piégeage et la cueillette des baies et des plantes médicinales. Notre équipe se rend au lac Pocket pour évaluer plusieurs points de données critiques. Nos stagiaires demandent où est passé l'arsenic depuis qu'il s'est déposé dans le paysage il y a plus de 70 ans. Ils s'interrogent aussi de façon plus précise sur la quantité d'arsenic qui s'enfouit dans le sol et qui est emprunté par l'eau. Nos résultats montrent que chaque printemps, la fonte des neiges emprunte l'arsenic de la terre vers les masses d'eau environnantes. La mesure de ce processus sur une courte période est essentielle pour comprendre les processus qui contrôlent le rétablissement.
This is what we call a weir. This weir here is actually at the bottom of the catchment. So all of the area that contributes to Pocket Lake for this small little subcatchment comes through here. So it's integrating the water through this soil-filled valley, but also through these bedrock outcrops up here. And so it's forcing all of the snowmelt water through this weir. And there's a relationship between the height of the water in this weir and flow. And so we can measure continuously the flow. So we put a little water level logger in here, and it gives us a water level measurement every 5 minutes. And from that, we can get a continuous measurement of flow on the site. And then we can take water samples in the water when it backs up here. And then you combine the chemistry with the flow, and you can actually estimate the mass of arsenic that's leaving the entire catchment.
That is so nice.
Isn't it awesome? Yeah.
La formation de jeunes locaux au travail de terrain est une priorité pour notre équipe et pour cette recherche. À l'avenir, c'est à eux qu'il incombera de surveiller le rétablissement du paysage.
My name is Stanley McKenzie. I'm a Yellowknife Standing First Nation. My community is right over there, directly across Giant Mine. Yeah, you can see it. And I'm currently a second year in environmental indigenous science and studies. We're there to understand the complexities of researching, conducting our own research, and learning new methods of things in the environment. It's important for many reasons, because one, it's to improve the state of the land. Because right now, the Giant Mine and and the areas affected around it, it's in a bad shape. I like doing this kind of work because it helps do research that's potentially harming it or what is already harming it. And we can do research about how we can improve it, and maybe, or not maybe, we will fix the land.
Sur le terrain, l'équipe prélève des carottes pour mesurer l'arsenic à différentes profondeurs. À Kingston, Sean utilise la microscopie électronique pour retracer les formes minérales, révélant ainsi la facilité avec laquelle chaque composé peut s'infiltrer dans nos lacs.
We'll come here every day during snowmelt and measure the water chemistry. We measure things like arsenic, but also other things to understand the processes that are controlling the release of arsenic. So carbon, like dissolved organic carbon, is something important that controls how arsenic moves around the environment. So we also look at that. We also have field cameras here set up so we can actually watch the progression of melt. And we can stack those images that are taken every hour, and we can actually create a time-lapse image. So we can see when the water is flowing, when it slows down, when it speeds up. It's really handy to have a visual of that.
Les données préliminaires montrent que la majeure partie de l'arsenic est concentrée dans les quelques premiers centimètres du sol et provient du four de grillage de la mine. Le ruissellement de la région est généralement limité à la période de fonte des neiges et transporte des quantités conséquentes d'arsenic. Les sols de surface et les eaux de ruissellement contiennent des concentrations d'arsenic plusieurs fois supérieures aux recommandations visant la protection humaine et écologique.
What is my favorite thing? Well, it's actually doing snow sampling and water sampling and soil sampling, because we actually go in the field and actually do it, and we see it firsthand, like how bad it is. And then going back to the lab to do a little bit of a analyze. And that's my favorite part, where I'm trying to like it because I'm not really good with science, but I'm beginning to like it because the complexities behind it, and it's actually really interesting, and I enjoy that part. Once I finish my 2 years here in Yellowknife, I want to go back to Trent in Toronto so I can get my diploma. And then afterwards, once I do that, I want to come back and work in the north and do any kind of field work that does this kind of thing.
Notre travail à la mine Giant et au lac Pocket allie histoire, science et sagesse communautaire. Nos résultats peuvent être utilisés par les administrateurs communautaires et les organismes gouvernementaux pour la prise de décision concernant la mise à disposition du paysage et sa santé.